It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
This is Paul Feinbaum. That'll do it for me today. Coming up next, The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
You guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Stan McDonald. Stan, tell everybody why you're the best damn dirt lawyer in North Alabama.
Yes, Wes, at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. You know I'm a dirt lawyer, and a lot of our friends know that, which means we specialize in real estate. Now, if you own real estate or you're buying it or you're selling it, you need to do a closing, but a lot of times there's legal issues associated with that. We're a great group to talk to. My son, Lewis McDonald, heads our commercial closing division, and we approach your real estate needs very seriously. We seek to be the premier real estate closing company in North Alabama, and we do it in such a way it shows that we're experienced, we're for your success. We like to handle your real estate needs the same way Coach Dan Reeves used to say, never let them see you sweat. And that's going to be to your benefit, too, when you visit us at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. Our website online is jacobtitle.com.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
It's laundry season at Owen Home Appliance Center. Tired of that washer walking out the door and having to dry a load 2 or 3 times? It's time for a new washer and dryer. Pick from brands like Maytag, GE, Whirlpool, Electrolux, and of course, Speed Queen. Try the new 2-in-1 GE Profile that washes and dries a load all in one machine. Visit the interactive location in Lacey Springs where you can try the washers and dryers before you buy them. Owen Home Appliance Center. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service. It's in the name, Owen Home Appliance Center.
From Coleman to Fayetteville and all points in between.
Son, pull the hammer back. Smokey's coming at you in a plain white wrapper.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone. WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Well, howdy. I didn't think I'd be in studio today. I thought I'd be in Valdosta, Georgia. the president of Valdosta State University, had other plans. You ever spent 12 hours on a charter bus? Everybody put your hands down. You're all lying. Spent 12 hours on a bus yesterday. I'm sure Scott Tyson probably chronicled that for you this morning on Talking Ball. But it is good to be back, and it is nice to have a bit warmer weather, not having to drip my faucets 24/7. So that's nice. I hope everyone is doing well. And there is a decent amount to get into. How are you, West Neighbors?
I'm doing good.
So if there was ever a perfect time for the Pivot podcast to drop an hour and 15 minutes of Nick Saban, it was yesterday. And yes, I listened to every single minute of it. And I would highly encourage it just to dive a little bit more into the mind of Coach Nick Saban. And listen, For Auburn fans, for Georgia fans, for Tennessee fans, for every other fan base that is not named Alabama, don't seem it as if I'm just pandering to the Bama fans. I want to dive in more into Coach Saban just because of how he did what he did and just diving into it a little bit more. So there's a couple of things I wanted to play, but he really went into now. Well, you know what? Rather than me tell you, where did I put it? There's plenty of areas that he got into. Most notably was in regards to the difference between the college game and the pro game. And here is a little bit of Coach Saban. This is from the Pivot.
All those things in college have changed. Mm-hmm. The whole idea of what college used to be is not there anymore. I mean, it used to be you went to college to develop value for your future. Now people are going to college to see how much money they can make. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but you change the whole dynamic of the importance of getting an education, making good decisions and choices about what you do and what you don't do to create value for your future. You change that whole dynamic. And the idea that these guys are free agents twice a year and they can just go wherever they want. I mean, I got NFL coaches calling me complaining about these guys have no ability to sustain and persevere and overcome adversity because they never had to do it. They just pack up and leave as soon as something doesn't go their way. That's what I always enjoyed about college, developing those things that help guys be successful. Mm-hmm. And now the system has changed where that's not even possible anymore. And I think the players should get paid in college. I really do. I just think the system that we're doing it in is not really beneficial to them and their development in the future. You know, you could take the whole college experience, which we probably all value.
Mm-hmm. I did.
It doesn't exist. No. It's gone. For athletes, I'm talking about. All right, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't think it's a good thing. But
Coach, we're all like you.
Who else was on that?
Ryan Clark, I recognized. I did not recognize the other gentleman that was on the Pivot podcast. So I don't know the other guy's name. But Ryan Clark was kind of the main one to bring Coach Saban in. Of course, played at LSU there for Coach Saban. But that right there kind of goes to the root of what we have been circling, underlining, highlighting of because we all love college football. There's no doubt that we all love college football. And I know everybody's banging on lower ratings. But it's still 22 million that watched the title game.
But it's down 12%.
I thought it was 2%.
12.
Was it 12?
12%. Yes, it's not 2, it's 12. And that's significant.
And that's the second year in a row it's been that low.
Yeah. I mean, it was
last year, Michigan and Washington.
It was 12% off last year's number.
Yeah. Yeah, last year was a big drop, and then it was dropped even more.
Yes.
Big Ten's back.
Yeah. No,
I'm only messing.
Well, what the problem is is it's by the end, everybody's tired of it. It's too much. And they're talking about doing more. It'll be worse. It'll be worse. Too much. It's too much. I'm telling you. I think there ought to be 8 teams, and there shouldn't be any buys, and just go. And any more is too many.
It's too much. And this is from people who love college football.
Yes, I mean, yeah, I'm saying it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying it.
Nick also had this to say about the differences. Well, NFL compared to college.
The NFL versus college. One thing the NFL does is they protect the brand. I mean, they have rules, they have regulations. I don't care if your socks have to touch your pants. I don't care what it is. All right. This is business.
Right.
All right. And they understand business. All right. And if you watch a college game now, as opposed to a pro game, it used to be just the opposite. You used to see great discipline in college and college guys showing sportsmanship and all that. And pro guys, maybe not so much. Now it's this way. Because they have no guidelines. They don't understand how to protect the brand in college football. And it's disguised a little bit about the playoffs, because everybody's so excited about having a 12-team playoff, which is great. But what's happening to the rest of it? I mean, how many people were at the Gator Bowl? I mean, how many people were at some of these bowl games that they didn't get in the playoffs? And bowl games has always been a great part of college football and reinforced. Like you mentioned, being in the Peach Bowl. Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't have that opportunity now. Yeah. I mean, because nobody would be at the game.
Yeah, you're right.
Unless it was a playoff game. Yeah. So, and you probably wouldn't want to
play. I was
play.
saying players wouldn't want to play.
Yeah, they don't want to play in them. So, but we don't know how to protect the brand. And just like even the SEC, how many guys grew up saying, "All you guys play in the SEC, right?
Yeah.
I want to play in the SEC."
Yeah, definitely.
I heard that 20 years in recruiting. I want to play in the SEC. Ain't nobody saying I want to play in the SEC now. They're saying how much you paying me.
Yeah.
So you lose all that. There's some kids that grew up wanting to play at LSU. There's some kids that grew up wanting to play at Florida or Alabama or whatever. It's not how much you going to pay me. All right, so you lose all that sort of legacy and tradition that has made college football what it is. I mean,
Coach.
But we have to learn in college football how to protect the brand. They have done a great job of that in the NFL.
All right, Coach, you're hired. The new commissioner of college football. I can't think of anybody better to at least guide this sport moving forward than Coach Nick Saban.
Well, when he talks, people listen. I mean, you can hear it when he's talking. It's the silence. It's like when Coach Bryant used to talk. There's no background noise because everybody's listening.
Yeah.
And, it to me, this is not hard.
What's your fix?
Well, you have to pay the players.
Yep.
That's how they got to where they are now. They have to pay them something. But I think it needs to be uniform. And it doesn't need to have to be a lot. It doesn't need to be ridiculous.
What, it's set by a conference or?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about set by the conference. I think it needs to be a national thing. And then this has nothing to do with NIL.
Yeah.
NIL
That's a different deal.
Should be negotiated with whoever wants to pay you. Like I had a friend of mine today that's thinking about doing something at the University of Alabama, NIL, to help to advertise on a podcast. True NIL. Right? These kids want to do a podcast, players, then yeah, there you go. So that's how true NIL is done. Right? Doing a podcast or doing a commercial for Pepsi or for
Dr. Pepper. Yeah.
There's a kiss of death, by the way.
But is this the new Madden curse?
Yes, I think it is. Poor DJ Ungley, right?
It really didn't work out for him. Didn't work out for Bryce.
I mean, well, the thing about it is Bryson probably that year they could have been Ohio State.
Bryce actually played really well that year.
Yes,
it's the pieces around him.
Well, even that, I mean, they lost 2 games by a point, right?
Yeah.
Right. Some weird games.
That Tennessee game.
Yeah, well,
he played his ass off.
I mean, he was hurt all year too.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it. Anyway, so not to get off the subject, to me, you ought to have one. I don't know why it has to be in December, the transfer portal. To me, the transfer portal should be in the summer, 10 days after school. So that way you're in the same school for
right after graduation. What, in May?
A year. You're in that school for a year, right? Now, graduate transfers are different.
They've earned that right.
Yeah, you graduated from college.
If you graduate in December, still have a year left.
You can
have
go
at it.
wherever you want to go.
Yep.
I'm all for that. I think that it needs to be everybody has the same salary at every school, whatever that might be. Then you have you still do NIL opportunities, commercials, whatever that, and they need to be scrutinized, like the Auburn athletic director was talking about. They're talking about now.
That's
where
right.
they're going to start scrutinizing. And you don't need to be playing high school players to go to college. They need to go to college to their school that they want to. Because, listen, the NFL players all end up broke, right? Most of them.
Well, one of the first things they do going through the rookie symposium is how to manage your money.
Right. So how do you think these college guys, they're going to end up with no education, nothing? It's what's about to happen. It's going to be bad. It's going to be and then they're going to blame the colleges and the system. The system didn't take care of me. So
the other part that we have been harping on a lot following the career of Nick Saban, specifically at Alabama, is psychologic in between the years and how big of a difference that this is a little bit longer, but he goes into great detail on that part of his program, be it he went back to the LSU days, and here is Coach Saban.
Well, I don't know if you remember Dr. Rosen. So I've always had this great appreciation, which I don't think a lot of coaches do, for psychological disposition of people and their ability to compete. I mean, I think as coaches, we look at physical ability and talent, but sometimes we don't look at the mental aspects of what it takes to be able to bring the talent to fruition. You know, talent is not talent if you can't use it. And some people can't use it because of how they think, you know, what their hardwiring is or whatever. So I always had Dr. Rosen was a psychiatrist. We also had another psychiatrist that worked with us at LSU. We had two at, and he worked with us at Miami too, Dr. Rosen.
With the wooden belt buckle.
Yeah, that's it. And we had another guy. We had a couple at Alabama, but he's always been with me. And because he was a psychiatrist, he could always give me some feedback on people that I would never be able to recognize as a coach. Like, how do you manage this guy? And because some guys you need to get on, they're not self-starters. Some guys are, you know, like obsessive, compulsive, want to do everything right. Well, you don't want to get on that guy. But you don't want everybody around to know that you're treating people different. You know, that you're yelling at this guy, but you never yell at that guy.
Right.
Does that make sense? Or you're getting on this guy or whatever. So he's the guy that always gave me some information and insight into what's the best way to coach this player. And that was very helpful, you know, to me. But now sometimes the players didn't understand that. Like just like the example that you used.
Yeah.
You know, I knew that you knew what you were doing and you can make every check and you were the smartest guy out there and we needed you to do it. But I couldn't treat you like you were my pet. But yet the safeties on all of my teams, all of them, all of our teams, the safeties were in higher esteem than the quarterback. Because I coached DBs, I coached them all my life, and that's what I loved. And I never quit doing that even when I was a head coach, because that's what I liked. Just paid more. The head coach got paid more. All right, so
yeah,
I did both. And so I always had a great relationship with those guys because that's who I interacted with the most. and not the corners, even though I coach the corners, but the safety told the corner what to do most of the time.
Oh,
So, but that's how I figured it out. You know, Trev Falk, I mean, he came to our camp at Alabama for years, you know, while he was coaching, because we had a great relationship, but not that moment.
right.
But everybody kind of learns that you really do have their best interest in mind and you're trying to help them develop. And some of it is, how do you manage adversity?
Yeah.
You know, that, because you're always going to have it in sports.
Yeah.
There's no game that you play. There's nothing where things always go right. You know, they're going to go wrong, and you got to play the next play, and you got to be able to respond to it. So,
what do you do if a guy brings a stripper to a rookie show?
So that's the other part that it led into, that little clip. So evidently, when Coach Saban was at Miami, part of the rookie little the last guy to close things down one year brought in strippers, and Coach Saban was not thrilled about it. But my apologies for playing that last part, because
I want to hear what
he shut it down pretty quick.
Oh, I bet.
But just getting into the mind aspect, though, of it was fascinating to me. And I know it's something we've talked about a good deal here on this program, of just coaching guys different, and the fact that the head coach makes more than the safeties coach too.
Yes. Yes. Well, I mean, so Coach Bryant used to say that that you treat just like Coach Saban, same thing. He never treated everybody the same, but he always treated everybody fairly. And it had to do with the same thing. Some people need pushing. Some people you need to calm down during the week. I mean, we had a guy that hyperventilate before the games and was about to pass out. So, you know, we try to keep him calm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Some people, you know, you can't be normal and go play football.
Mm-mm.
It just doesn't work that way.
No.
You have to get
unless
in
you want to get your butt kicked. I mean,
you have to get in a place where you want to dominate somebody and be ugly to them, basically. And that's the way you have to do. I mean, you're not cheap. You don't want to hurt them. You don't want to permanently injure anybody. But, you know, if you hit them,
you want to win.
Yeah. I mean,
it's competition.
I always like knocking people out. That's what I like to do. That's where, I mean.
Well, it's a shame you don't have the forearms.
Well,
for
that
it,
was, that was always, So, I mean, but I didn't want them to die.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't want them to be permanently damaged, but I wanted them to know that was a distinct possibility. And because you want a little bit of fear in there. You know?
Yeah. A doubt. Doubt.
Yeah. Yes.
Plant that seed.
Yeah. And you want to do it early. So, yeah. I mean, but that being said, everybody gets ready different ways. The point I was trying to make.
There was a couple of NFL ones. I'm sure you've probably heard the one about Drew Brees by now, but I wanted to get a thought or two on this. Coach Saban started talking about his daughter Kristen, and guys coming up to date his daughter. Oh yeah. It did make me think about Anna Lincoln. You know, I wonder if you maybe had a moment or two like this.
No.
So when they come in, the doorbell rang and Kristen had a date, everybody ran to open the door because they didn't want me to open it. Because if I opened it, first thing I'd look at the guy and I'd say, "What do you play?" Just intimidate the out of him. All right. Everybody in the house is like, "Oh, Dad, don't do that."
So what if they didn't play nothing, Coach?
What's that?
What if he didn't play anything? What if he was like, "I was in the band"?
Well, I wouldn't. I'd still invite the guy in, but he knew I was like disappointed that he wasn't a competitor. So
she has children now and married.
So, yeah,
they don't have. So I remember
the band never gets any respect.
Yeah.
That's the lesson.
Toting that tuba around.
Yeah. That's
it don't just happen.
Oh, so
you ever do that?
No. Well,
Okay.
yeah, I might have shook a guy's hand a little hard or something. Grab it and just, you got these mitts, you can do some
Just sit on the
damage.
porch and clean the guns.
Yeah, well, I never did that. But I did answer the door with a gun one time, but I didn't know it was him. So, and I was
That's
cleaning
pretty
the
good.
gun. I was cleaning the gun. But so I just remember I had them all. When I say it, the kids we were eating at Duffy's Deli. I'll never forget it.
Okay.
Back in the day, it was Duffy Bowls and
never coming on.
Yeah, and Anna Lakin was talking about she was going to her first middle school dance, and she was talking, and as she was talking to me, I could see all the boys leaning over, kind of looking, leaning back on their chair. They're all sitting at the bar, leaning back, looking at me like, you shouldn't let her go. I mean, they were saying that, they're all older. She was the youngest.
Yep.
Nobody wanted her to go to the dance, to the middle school dance. They were all shaking their head like, that means don't let her go.
Did she go?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They were.
Yeah. I know that is
yeah,
a hard thing to prevent right there.
No.
One of life's moments.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. But that was, because she's always the little one, now she's the loudest, right? Would you say? It's Savannah and hers. There's a.
That's why mine had a black belt in Taekwondo.
Yeah. They take care of themselves, right?
That's right.
I'll tell you, at least from interacting with your kids, I mean, Aunt Lincoln can hold her own in a big, big way.
You had to.
So much so that I think Bonesaw wouldn't really go.
You don't mess with Bonesaw. I don't mess with Bonesaw anymore. Wesley always tried to whip me.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. He failed miserably every time. So one time we were wrestling. I threw him under the table. Wouldn't let him come out.
What kind of table are we talking about?
Oh, it was just the one we had in our kitchen.
Okay.
Big one.
Okay.
Yeah, so
okay.
I threw him under
not a
there.
coffee table.
No. No. I mean, I wasn't. And he fell miserably every time. And Bonesaw tried to take me. It's probably when he first graduated from LSU. It didn't go well for him either. But now Bonesaw.
So before he went to Nashville for the Titans.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. He was in the RV.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, he tried.
Was Tank involved?
No.
Okay.
No.
Right.
It was no. So it was the other time was in Austin, Texas, and they attacked me from behind. That didn't go for him either then. But now, I mean, he's basically. I mean, he's an MMA guy. I mean, he does that for fun at lunch.
Yeah,
so I mean, I'm too old now. I wouldn't, and they take pity on me now. They wouldn't do it. But back then, they were
Coming up on the program today, the one and only Jerry Glanville is going to join us to help us break down the AFC and NFC championship games. And if that's not good enough for you, John McClain is going to join us later on here in this first hour as we were walking you up to what is a big, big matchup. It just got moved, and you'll hear the game Monday as number 4 UAH is at number 11 Valdosta State. Those rankings are not regional rankings. Those are national rankings as the Charger men at number 4 in the country taking on number 11 Valdosta State. We'll also have some Charger hoops for you coming up on Saturday as the Chargers will be in Pensacola. That is if they can dig through the snow, although I hear it was like mid-40s down there today. So it was a very weird day on the bus with the Charger men and heading back down to the beach. They are heading down tomorrow, and I'll be heading down early Saturday for the call there, and you'll hear it right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. In fact, that'll be your lead-in on Saturday to the Crimson Tide as Alabama is taking on LSU Saturday night. But we'll start the day Saturday with Rutgers and Michigan State, then some Charger basketball. Then over on Talk Radio WZZN, that's our HD.2 channel, is Houston at Kansas, and that is a big-time matchup. And then coming up on Sunday, the NFC and AFC championship games will take front and center stage for us beginning at 1 o'clock. There's also Huntsville Havoc Hockey. That's at 5 o'clock over on the Havoc Zone. Joe Hunk will have that call there. And as I mentioned Monday, a rather large matchup that we'll have for you right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone with UAH at Valdosta State. Let's take our first time out. Can open it up to your phone calls on the other side at 256-576-4977.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
It's an amazing time in our industry. Things are changing so rapidly. With digital signatures and workflow software, we help our customers work from anywhere. This helps you save time and money and upgrade your technology. Like I said, it's an amazing time to watch our customers grow and succeed.
Just ask anyone.
Howdy, folks. Bob Baumhauer here. Whether you're planning a tailgate party at the game, cheering for your favorite teams at home, or at your local Baumhauers with your family and friends, we're here to make your football party legendary with our party-ready tray selections. From our always fresh buttermilk fried chicken tenders to the homemade Nana's chicken salad, and of course, our fresh, never frozen, award-winning buffalo-style chicken wings. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of 12 world-famous theme parks, Orlando, Florida. With flights starting as low as just $49, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Orlando. Make all their dreams come true. Book nonstop to Orlando now at flybreeze.com.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at WoodyAndersonFord.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
It is the Drive here on a Thursday. West Neighbors, Steve Moulton back here with you. We're 10 minutes away from John McClain joining us.
I'd like to say thanks to folks over at the Avalon Dump Firing Range today. They were my father-in-law this morning, helping keep the Second Amendment alive.
There you go.
Let freedom ring for a little bit. So,
There you go.
But
Let
I
freedom
appreciate
ring.
them listening over there. And looking forward to a couple other projects. If you have not noticed, they have a YouTube channel where they go for a lot of information, and they've got a brand new one that's I got a sneak peek at that today. It'll be out tomorrow. So a lot of education there and a lot of good stuff. And it's the Ammo Dump Firing Range up on Larry's Pistol and Pawn on North Parkway.
There you go. Sounds like someone's trying to sell something over there, and I like it. I like it.
I don't know
I
what
like
you're
it.
talking about. Just
Yeah.
big fan of Second Amendment.
I will tell you that
I love the Constitution. Even
got
more.
a lot of good positive feedback from our adventure to Spring Garden on Tuesday.
Oh boy, howdy!
And-
There are so many people want to hear the call of that game,
and
I've given out the link to our SoundCloud so many times. The folks there and the interviews there,
it was
just stacked to the
It was
rafters.
such a great experience. That place maybe held 600 people, maybe, but I'm telling you, there was not the game had to be halted for a few minutes because the referees had to move people from underneath the hoop. So
Wow, that's crazy.
it was a great atmosphere. And
if a game has an overflow section, you know you're doing something right.
Yeah. And Ace Austin, wow, 43 points for her. That was really, really impressive there as well. And back to the NFL, I will tell you the latest odds right now have the Philadelphia Eagles a 6.5-point favorite. The Kansas City Chiefs are a 1.5-point favorite over the Buffalo Bills. We shall see.
Huh.
And you'll be able to hear both of those games on Sunday right here.
One of the greatest games I ever watched was at Kansas City with the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City.
You going back to
was it 3 years ago when
Kelly,
they scored like
you're
they
talking
scored
about
like 4 times.
Yes, Josh Allen. Yes, the
like
back and forth,
a minute and a half. It was stupid.
This is the modern day version of Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady. It feels like between Josh Allen and some guy named Mahomes.
Yeah, I saw the people reacting. They had the Buffalo Bill fans were reacting when they signed Josh Allen. Drafted him in the first round. They're all mad and
not mad anymore.
No, but I remember the first time I heard Josh Allen's name.
Oh yeah. He's going to join us at 6:00. Yeah,
that was Jerry Glanville.
Jerry Glanville is going to join
Told
us.
He was the guy he would draft.
Yep. Jay is on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. How are you, Jay?
Steve, Wes, how are y'all this evening?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. Hey, Steve, first off, again, appreciate y'all doing that Tuesday night. Thanks to the wonders of NFHS, able for y'all to put the audio in with the video.
Yep.
That was so awesome to watch.
So I'll tell you a little backstory on that. When I first arrived, they gave me a place right on the scorer's table, and the computer that attaches was straight up, but it was up about maybe 10 or 12 rows behind me. And they initially did not want me to plug in, but then I told them I had just spoke to an assistant manager at Baumhauer's, who's a big high school basketball and high school sports guy. And I told him what I was doing. And he said, heck, I'll put it on here at Baumhauer's. And I said, well, my guy at Baumhauer's said he'd put it on at Baumhauer's. And they just lit up like, oh my gosh, our game's going to be playing at Baumhauer's.
I got to tell Bob that. That is great.
So that is the backstory. And the only reason I knew how to plug into that computer is because I plugged into the NFHS computer at Sparkman High School the previous week. Okay. They've got the same computer or the same model type. Yeah. And I frankly was guessing, and I'm glad I guessed right.
Hey, Austin.
Oh, Jay, you're breaking up. And there goes Jay. Jay, I appreciate the kind words, and my apologies for stepping on you there. But And again, we were over on Talk Radio WZZN because Alabama was too busy whooping up on Vanderbilt over these airwaves. By the way, if you're just even a casual basketball fan, at least growing up for me, ACC basketball and Big East basketball. SEC basketball right now is reminding me of Big East basketball. And what Texas A&M did to Ole Miss last night, that was ridiculous. Their first lead in the entire game was with 8 seconds to go. And they win it by 1. And, of course, Bama fans, I'm sure you remember what Ole Miss did to you in your own backyard. So this year is just bananas. In fact, I was taking a look at some statistics, and let's see if this will load up for me here in terms of how ridiculous this is in SEC basketball this year. Where is it? 19 of the 25 teams lost last week in the AP poll. And that one of the teams that didn't lose was Auburn, hence why they stuck there at number 1. But here it is. There are 16 teams, 16 teams in the SEC that this season, and 13 of them have been ranked. That's 81%.
So basically, if you're ranked, you're more than you're in the top half of the 60, whatever.
Easily, yeah.
How many is it now? 80 here. I don't know.
Well, 96, 102.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
The proposals.
Anyway, we do need to take our second time out. The one and only John McClain going to help us break down both the AFC and NFC championship games. That is coming up on the other side right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Did you know if you own or lease a particular brand competitor of our awesome Ford Bronco or Bronco Sport, you could be eligible for up to $2,000 in Conquest cash, and that's without trading it in. You could save even more if you do. Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford. This month, we've got Conquest cash on Bronco, Bronco Sport, and F-150. All you have to do is show ownership of a particular competitor, and it's yours. That's how much we believe in our Fords, and you will too. Now let's talk savings. Big savings. Up to $12,000 off MSRP on our 2024 Expedition. Over 35 to choose from at Woody Anderson Ford. You can get up to $5,000 off MSRP on a 24 Escape too. Save $5,000 on Escape. And with the versatile 2024 Edge, you're looking at up to $9,000 off MSRP. Only at Woody Anderson Ford. From Conquest cash to thousands in total savings, January is a great month to add a Ford to your family. I'm Bobby White, and we hope to see you soon.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that his mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's
It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
Carrabba's Italian Grill is the best place to enjoy authentic Italian cuisine, passed down from our founders' family recipes. Featuring a wood-burning grill, you can enjoy Carrabba's signature dishes, including chicken brine, wood-fired grilled steak and chops, and classic Italian pasta dishes. Have a special event? Elevate your catering with Carrabba's Catering, the perfect way to enjoy large party portions of your favorite hand-prepared dishes for any event. Carrabba's Italian Grill at Parkway Place, Huntsville.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Another cold night across the Tennessee Valley, but we're not going to be as cold tonight as we have been over the last several nights. Temperatures drop into the mid-20s. A partly sunny sky Friday afternoon. Temperatures climb into the upper 30s and lower 40s. We drop into the mid-20s once again as we head into the early hours of Saturday morning. Mostly to partly sunny sky Saturday afternoon. It's actually going to be quite nice across the Tennessee Valley. We climb into the mid and upper 40s. I do think a couple of folks could actually see the lower 50s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hold your block until the whistle blows. From SEC Media Days to the National Championship game. This was a great team win. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Back here with you on the drive. A couple of days ago, it was officially introduced. Welcome Sammy Coates as the new head coach at Columbia High School, the former Auburn wide receiver, taking over there at Columbia, and Columbia on a 91-game losing streak. So I want that to go away. I know Coach Coates wants that to go away as well, but it is a pretty big task in front of them. But if anybody can do it, I am putting my belief in Sammy Coates, who also played there in the National Football League for the Steelers, Browns, Texans, Chiefs, and also played up north of the border with the Rough Riders and Elks as well. And on the subject of the National Football League, there is nobody better to bring in than John McClain. You can follow him on Twitter or X or whatever they call it this week at McClain_on_NFL. How are you, John?
I'm doing great. How are y'all?
Doing very well. And this is the time of the year where we pay a little bit closer attention to the National Football League. But I've been keeping an eye on the Baltimore Ravens per some earlier conversations. What went wrong with the Ravens this year?
Well, they had a great season. They started 0-2 because they were trying to figure out how to use Derrick Henry. And in relation to Lamar Jackson, they finally got it together. They lost 3 games after that. And the game at Buffalo, I thought they had turnovers, of course, but they had terrible play calling. When you're going for a 2-point conversion and you're on the 2-yard line, and you have Derrick Henry and you have Lamar Jackson, the best big running back, the most powerful, and you have the best running quarterback, and you're in bad weather with bad wind, why are you throwing the ball? Now, that being said, Mark Andrews, the tight end, should have caught it. He dropped it. He was finally commented about it today, about how devastated he was. So there's a lot of blame to go around. And plus, they just lost to that game played in Baltimore. They probably would have won it, but that's their own fault. I picked Baltimore to win the Super Bowl again, and I wanted to win. But now that they didn't, I'm glad it's Buffalo and Kansas City, and I would love to see Buffalo go to the Super Bowl because of long-suffering Bills fans.
So, fan base that's more disappointed, Lions or Ravens?
Oh, the Lions, because the Ravens have won 2 Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
They're contenders every year. Lions haven't won a championship since the 50s. And everything they did well, record-wise, it was the best since the 50s. So I think they've never been in a Super Bowl. And I think the Lions fans have suffered the most because they've had truly bad teams. I don't know if the Ravens, under John Harbaugh, they've never been a bad team.
Yeah. But I mean, this does feel a little bit on the college realm like Georgia sticking with Mark Richt for such a long time of just constantly really good, but never winning the whole thing.
Now, you talking about Buffalo?
Baltimore.
Well, John Harbaugh's won a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
And,
that's right. Yeah.
He's been there 17 years, and despite having low draft choices every year, they continue to be a Super Bowl contender every year. So he's not going anywhere. There was talk after last year that McDermott might get fired in Buffalo, and then everybody's picking the Jets to win the AFC East, and the Bills run away with it again. We got good coaches up to this point. You know, Dan Quinn's been to a Super Bowl. McDermott, I think he went as an assistant coach when he was in Philadelphia working for Andy Reid. And in the Nick Sirianni could be the third coach in history to go to 2 Super Bowls in his first 4 years.
Wow.
And so we've got tried and true coaches. You know, we're not talking about young up and coming guys. Andy Reid, Hall of Fame. John Harbaugh, I think, will be in the Hall of Fame. Dan Quinn's going to have to win more. So is McDermott. So, but I'm fired up about these games. Traditionally, they're not the best. And I do not see Buffalo beating Kansas City 2 times in a season, handing the Chiefs their only 2 legitimate losses because in the last game they rested the starters. But especially when the second one's at Arrowhead Stadium, and you're playing the Chiefs and you're playing the officials. And people think that I'm bitter about that because Texans didn't lose to the officials. Texans had 2 personal foul calls, roughing, that shouldn't have been called, and everybody saw it. So since 2022, opponents have been called for 5 roughing penalties in the playoffs, roughing Mahomes. You know, I mean, that the Chiefs have had 0. And then I think I saw in the last 11 playoff games, the opponents that have had more penalties 10 times than the Chiefs. And the 11th wasn't the Chiefs with the most, it was tied. So if you think they're not getting the Michael Jordan treatment, that Mahomes is not getting it, your statistics back it. He is.
Wow.
So there are memes all over the internet about the Chiefs and the calls they get and how bad
and
they've
the Taylor
been all
Swift
year.
effect, right?
Yeah,
the best. Excuse me, Wes. The best one I've seen was right before Christmas, and it showed Mahomes passing out Christmas presents. And I don't know how people do these things, but the officials are standing there and they're all taking Mahomes' jersey out of their Christmas packages.
I don't know.
Pretty good.
These people have a lot more time, free time than I have.
do.
I wouldn't have a clue how to do that.
There's some great stuff, though. I mean, some of them come out like so quick after the thing. Like they just are masters at it. But going back to what you said earlier in the play calling and how important and how they didn't think the Baltimore play calling was good. You know, you look at and Mark had a rough game. He'd fumbled the ball earlier. He dropped another ball earlier. You go to the hot hand, and he's been hurt all year, off and on. Mark Andrews has. He is a great player, great blocker, and has been very productive for them for years. Although he's been injured a lot. But why would you pick a play where you throw it to a guy that's struggled all game? That's my whole thing.
Well, I'm guessing it's because he is the one guy, receiver on that team, who Lamar Jackson trusts most because he's come up big for him so many times, even though he was having a bad game. You know, he's a premier tight end. And I felt bad for Jackson because people are going to hold it against him, when the fact is the game should have been tied. It doesn't mean they're going to win, of course. They could have still lost it.
Absolutely.
But you hate to see things like that happen. I think in clutch situations, you're going with a guy you trust the most, and he was open.
Yeah,
He got open, and Lamar put it there. I know Chris Sims tried to blame it on Lamar for not throwing a better pass, but the ball was right at his waist as he was going down. He's the first person to tell you he should have caught it, and I'll guarantee you everybody over 40, maybe 50, saw him drop that pass and said two words, Jackie and Smith. And for everybody out there listening doesn't have a clue what I'm talking about, Jackie Smith, tight end, dropped Roger Staubach's pass in a Super Bowl, cost the Cowboys from winning a Super Bowl.
And maybe the most memorable call, and he's had a lot of them, for Vern Lundquist. I mean, I'm hearing it right now in the back of my mind when you say that. It just a lot
it's on YouTube. People will go look it up and see. If you're a Cowboys fan and you want to have your heart broken, go watch it. If you're a Cowboys hater, watch it because you'll get a lot of pleasure out of it.
That in the last 20 years.
30.
Yeah.
How about close to 30?
30, yeah.
Yeah. This is, I mean, being there in Texas, what do you make of what Jerry is trying to do again and quote unquote hire the right guy?
I've never seen so many coaching searches so bizarre. And Jerry, of course, started late because he thought he was going to re-sign Mike McCarthy. But he wanted McCarthy for a discount and for not a 5-year deal. McCarthy at the time had options. So he said, thanks for no thanks. And then Jerry's like, as McCarthy's going out the door, he's like Porky Pig. And Mike walks. And then he's like, Steven, we gotta conduct a coaching search. We need it. Where's our general? Oh, I'm the general manager. So Kellen Moore to me seems like a natural. He spent 8 years there as a player, as a position coach, and as an offensive coordinator. Then he went to the Chargers. Now he's with Philadelphia. He knows the Cowboys. He knows Jerry Jones. They know him. He's not an egomaniac. I've never, ever thought Dion was a candidate with the Cowboys. I thought that was agent-fueled and media-fueled, and just like Steve Sarkisian. And I wouldn't bet the house on this, but this is what agents do. I'm guessing an agent tipped off Adam Schefter that NFL teams wanted to talk to Sarkisian, and so Adam put it out there. Great scoop. Everybody ran it. Chris Del Conte, the AD of Texas. So, well, this is not happening. And Steve Sarkisian, without commenting on it or interviewing anybody, and probably having nobody reaching out, has got a new contract. Has a great job of the agent. And so in most of these cases, it's the agents who leak these things. And of course, they have their own agenda.
To the games this weekend, do you have a good feeling as to the direction of both of the winners, or is this pretty foggy for you to read as to who's ultimately going to be in Super Bowl 59?
I don't see Buffalo beating the Chiefs 2 times in one season, especially at Arrowhead Stadium in this one. Patrick Mahomes, I love to tell this story. When Kansas City beat Cincinnati to go to the Super Bowl, and they won, Patrick Mahomes at the Kentucky Derby. Mattress Mac, who I do a video with down here every week, he told me that he met Mac's got a stable of horses, and he went to that one. He met Mahomes in his suite, and he told Mahomes, "You cost me a lot of money." And he said, "Mac, don't ever bet against me." So every time Mac asked me, I said, "What did Mahomes tell you?" And I told him that today when we shot our video. I said, never bet against Patrick Mahomes, and especially knowing statistically the advantage he has with the officials. Now, I'm wondering with the officiating against the Texans getting so much scrutiny and criticism, could the referees in this game bend over backward and not call them when they're supposed to? And I don't think that'll happen, but I'm going with Kansas City over Buffalo. And then Philadelphia is the second best running team in the league to Baltimore, with Saquon Barkley, who will be Offensive Player of the Year when that's announced at the honors show at the Super Bowl in New Orleans. I saw a stat today I didn't realize. Washington, 30th in the NFL against the run, can't stop a nosebleed. They were 3-1 when they gave up 200 or more yards rushing. Wow. That usually doesn't happen. It's all because of Jaden Daniels. It's supposed to be 32 degrees and cloudy. If there was a lot of wind, that would benefit Philadelphia because of that running game. And that includes Jalen Hurts running. And Hurts has a knee injury. Hurts is unbeaten in the playoffs when he throws for over less than 200 yards. And his record with more than 200 is terrible in the playoffs. So I'm going with Philadelphia because they're home. But I had no clue that Jaden Daniels and the Commanders were going in to Ford Field and put 45 on the line.
That was just remarkable there. And if Hurts does get back to it, that would be 2 Super Bowls. And, of course, we always had the great debate in this state of Tua, Jalen, or Mac. And at least in the playoffs, it's no competition right now.
That's a great point. It's so funny. Jalen Hurts he runs so much, and he's got receivers. You know, they're not getting the ball. A.J. Brown wants the ball, so he's reading on the sideline. Monte Smith, he's not getting the ball. Dallas Goedert gets it, but they're such a run-oriented offense, they're almost like a throwback to the 60s. And I saw an over-under today. Will Saquon Barkley have a run of at least 23 yards? And both of them said absolutely. But you know, Dan Quinn has got a plan, whether he can pull it off. But if I'm in, Jalen Hurts, besides having the RPO option, and a lot, you think they'd be tearing the play action up. Just give it to him or fake it to him. And if you don't find a receiver, take off. And that's hard to stop sometimes. When you don't know what you're going to do, how's the defense going to know what you're going to do?
That's the truth.
John, you're the best. Thank you so much. It's always great to talk to you, sir. And tell Mattress Mike, now again, not to bet against that guy there in Kansas City.
And I'll tell Mattress Mac too. Thank you, guys.
Oh, well, him too. Yeah.
Mattress Mike.
Mike, yeah, that's right.
He was thinking something else.
Oh, boy. I know. No.
Oh, Magic Mike.
Oh,
Steve.
Yeah. That's it. John, you're the best. That's John McClain. You can follow him on Twitter at McClain_on_NFL.
Did you know if you own or lease a particular brand competitor of our awesome Ford Bronco or Bronco Sport, you could be eligible for up to $2,000 in Conquest cash, and that's without trading it in. You could save even more if you do. Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford. This month we've got Conquest cash on Bronco, Bronco Sport, and F-150. All you have to do is show ownership of a particular competitor, and it's yours. That's how much we believe in our Fords, and you will too. Now let's talk savings. Big savings. Up to $12,000 off MSRP on our 2024 Expedition. Over 35 to choose from at Woody Anderson Ford. You can get up to $5,000 off MSRP on a 24 Escape too. Save $5,000 on Escape. And with the versatile 2024 Edge, you're looking at up to $9,000 off MSRP. Only at Woody Anderson Ford. From Conquest cash to thousands in total savings, January is a great month to add a Ford to your family. I'm Bobby White, and we hope to see you soon.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown in Paris today. The Spurs put up 45 points in the third quarter on the way to a 140-110 rout of the Pacers. Victor Wembanyama in his first NBA game on home soil with 30 points and 11 rebounds. The teams play again in Paris Saturday at noon Eastern on ESPN. The Lakers and Celtics play in Los Angeles tonight. Coverage at 9:30 Eastern here on ESPN Radio. The matchup for Super Bowl 59 will be settled on Sunday. In the AFC title game, it's the Bills and the Chiefs in Kansas City. ESPN's Dan Orlovsky says the stakes are simple for Bills quarterback Josh Allen.
You got to go get it done. You got to go knock off the Giant. Patrick's the Giant. And no one cares about your stats in this game. You have to go into the belly of the beast and take him down. You got to go be Rocky and knock out Drago. That's what it is. And they know it, and he knows it.
Dan Orlovsky on Get Up. In his first comments since the Ravens lost to the Bills Sunday, Ravens tight end Mark Andrews posts on Instagram today that he is, quote, absolutely gutted by what happened, end quote. Andrews dropped what would have been a game-tying two-point conversion with 1:33 left to play. ESPN's Todd Archer reports Cowboys corner Trayvon Diggs had surgery on his left knee today. His recovery could keep him out of action for part of training camp, if not longer. The Braves sign outfielder Jurickson Profar to a 3-year deal worth $42 million. He had a career year with the Padres last season.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Friday, everyone knows I've been Nick Sirianni's biggest critic, but has he done enough for me to believe in him in the biggest moment? It's Unsportsmanlike weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
There's still a couple of job openings in the National Football League. Who knows? Depending on the direction that they may go, they may look at a defensive coordinator at Northwestern Oklahoma State University. Let's find out for ourselves right now, as Jerry Glanville is kind enough to join us. Have you talking to Jerry Jones lately, Coach?
No, but are you telling me Wes is there live, or you got a cardboard cutout of it?
No, there's not enough cardboard left.
Boy,
cardboard left.
Well, I thought for sure you'd never have him back. You weren't there the last time, Wes.
That's right.
And we had the highest ratings in the history of the show.
I don't doubt that.
How are you, Coach?
Well, I told everybody in Atlanta we were going to be live on your thing, so we have doubled your listening audience.
There we go. There we go.
All friends in Atlanta, which is Ted and Brenda Jones, that is my friends, are all going to tune in.
There you go. That's what I like hearing.
So we got a big audience tonight.
I'm looking at it right now. In fact, our streaming numbers, I will be happy to tell you, we've got someone listening in Germany. We've also got another person listening in Helsinki.
We're big in Helsinki,
yeah,
Coach.
Yeah. But
well, I tell you what, the way Wes played, everybody in Helsinki loved him.
Yeah, I see 4 people listening in Atlanta. So there you go. So
you want to do college or you want to do pro? Both.
Let's start college. Let's start there, Coach. What did you think of the national championship game?
Well, it was kind of embarrassing. A long time ago, a team in Alabama, coached by Saban, played Georgia for the national championship in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And the head coach was Rick, what was his last name, at Georgia?
Oh, you talking about Mark Rick? You talking about the SEC championship game?
That was the SEC championship game.
Yeah.
Anytime Alabama needed 8 or 9 yards, it's called 12 pair. 2 tight ends on the same side, 1 on, 1 off. Well, the poor defensive coach from Georgia thought it was a mirage, and it cost them the national championship. They never made the adjustment. They never went to what's called the plus. In fact, Wes, the defensive tackle, came inside the offensive tackle with two tight ends outside of him. So I said, you can't be that stupid to be playing for national championship. So I turned on, and every time Ohio State went white pair, which we're talking about, Notre Dame didn't know how to stop it. And it was by the way, go back to the Alabama game.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did they have them out personnel that way, they had a back that's playing number 22 for the Ravens was the back at Alabama at the time.
Derrick Henry.
Do you think they ran up and down the field?
Mm.
So now I'm watching the same thing 100 years later, and I'm wondering, where are these people? What's happening is the coaching terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Then, you know what a pair, pardon me, a bunch is three people clustered in a trips. So they got three people. This happened against the Detroit Lions and against Notre Dame, both places. They didn't box the bunch. The bunch is three people clustered out there. And I looked at poor Detroit. They had 2-on-3 and wonder why they're scoring touchdowns. And I go all over teaching people how to box the bunch. I put 4-on-3. They got 2-on-3 and wondering why they're going down the field and scoring. Well, I don't know about you two, but I got to quit watching TV because if I put my foot through that screen up to my knee, what's going on, Wes?
So I watch football and now, Coach, and usually, watch the big guys the most. And the technique of the offensive linemen now is horrible. I don't go
Well,
even in the NFL.
Pillow fight. It's a full-blown pillow fight.
I mean, they all stand up and just kind of what my dad used to call titty block.
Yeah.
Well, what's happened is all the line coaches have signed a non-aggression pact with Russia and the enemy. We're going to be a more loving, caring country. Football.
Coach Pat Dye used to call it loving them down.
Loving them down.
Loving them
that
down.
guy down. Yeah.
He's dead. Is he still alive?
No, sir.
No,
No,
he died
sir.
quite-
Unfortunately.
yeah, 2020.
Well, I was with some coaches trying to teach them at a luncheon, and I told them all, I said, I'm down to 2 friends, so don't anybody here get sick. Because I'll be by myself. Wes, get $100 bill. And Wes has got the whole thing. He's got it written down. If you come up and hug the casket, that's $1,000. And Wes knows if you jump in the ground, that's $2,000.
Wow. Wow.
This is going to be the best funeral.
It's going to be a big payday for me at the funeral, no doubt.
Hey, you have enough to go back to that Ford dealer and get a cop car.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. That is the truth.
But, I mean,
now, I talked about the RPO. Listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
The Detroit defensive coordinator just got the head job at the Jets.
That's right.
Anybody, you all aware of that? He used to play there.
Yes, sir.
Well, they're playing against the Washington team. And they never lined up to stop the RPO. The RPO is a college thing. Well, and pro coaches, it happened to Saban when he first went to Alabama, got beat by Troy or somebody. They did not know you have to put the defensive tackle in the B gap to the back to control the offensive tackle's block. So I'm watching Detroit Lions can't stop the RPO. They got an A gap there, West, to the back in a hard 5 outside. It's called I-75. Here we come up and down the highway.
Right off the
How
left
does
guard.
this happen? I'm asking you people, how does this happen?
I don't see how they have, by now, most of these teams are running stuff they've run all year and what they've done well. They might put I'm sure every game they're putting different packages in to go against what the other team does well, but that shouldn't be happening, Coach, at this point where a simple,
how about this?
the simple
Doc,
things.
You want to lay down and cry tonight, and next time I see you two, I'll buy you dinner because you're going to shoot yourself after this one. So now Detroit is bringing 4 people to the quarterback's left side. They got a 4-man load coming. You're the quarterback. There's 4 people coming against 2 blockers off the left side. Mm-hmm. So the back can swing over there. Now you got 3 up, so 1's free. Everybody see the picture. Mm-hmm. Well, the Washington team, I almost said Redskins, got a quarterback can run pretty good. He sees what you and I are reading. He sprints to the right, and the end to that side is dropping to the curl. Okay. And everybody says, what a great quarterback. He took off and got a first down. My grandma could have went for 14 yards. And they dropped the end away from the load. And here's my deal on ends dropping. And Wes, you've been with me 100 years. Let the fighters fight and the dancers dance. You don't get a fighter dancing because you don't win.
Facts.
I probably ruined football for everybody that listens to your station.
No, I was just letting that soak in for a second because it's so spot on, Coach.
Let the fighters fight. You got a good defensive end and he's dropping. You got a pencil make safety and he's blitzing. Somebody get a gun and shoot me.
Well, when the other team knows you're going to do that, they have you, right? They're going to put a good team can put you in the good teams in college, Coach. To me, like Kirby, Brother Oliver, those guys that coach forever defensively, they used to be able to show a defense knowing that you're going to check and knowing what your check's going to be on third down, and they'll do that 2 or 3 times a game, and that's what that'll eventually win the game. Those 2 or 3 stops.
Tell you this, I watched Penn State play, and Penn State got beat, but I watched their defense play, and I got on the phone and I called the head coach I know at the University of Toledo, and I said, "Can you get me the Penn State film?" He goes, "Yeah, I can get it." I said, "I want the film," and he said, "Well, Jerry, everybody knows you. I got to know why." And exactly what you're talking about, Wes. I said, they started in an over to the field. And as Notre Dame got ready to play, they shifted to a bear. And he looked at that, and then he hollered hike, and it was a Bear Oiler blitz, 2 double A gaps. And the quarterback took off running at the snap. He goes, "I don't think anybody's going to be blocked." And now I've run the over. I've run the bear. I've run the Oiler off the bear. But I never ran all 3 in one play. I said, I got to get that on film.
So my offensive coordinator in college was a guy, I don't know if you know, George Henshaw. Coach Henshaw. Yeah. Did you know him, Coach?
No, I knew the name. I don't think I ever met him, but he had a big-time name. There was 2 guys everybody knew in Alabama, him and a guy, Wes Neighbors. That's the only 2 names.
So, I'm still good friends with him to this day. But Coach used to always say the things that give the offensive coaches the most trouble. And it's you need to run the Bear defense 2 or 3 times. And the Bear defense, basically, for those you're going to play, they play three guy over the guard, guy over the center, guy over the guard. Mm-hmm. Now, those guys can be shaded doing different things. you can show them the bear, but not be really running the bear, right,
Yeah.
Coach? That's what you're alluding to. But he says,
Well, what it does, it changes every blocking assignment you have learned.
Yes.
Am I correct?
He's 100%. So
yeah,
there's certain things you can run to take advantage of it, but they don't run that much in the NFL. And that's, traps and different things. They really don't do that much anymore. But you look at but he says everybody should run it because it's so hard to prepare for. So it gives them something else during the week to prepare for, and all your rules go out so you have certain rules, and all of a sudden the rules all change, as Coach is saying.
Mm-hmm.
So he says one of the things my son, who's a defense, had to meet with him to know the different things that give offensive trouble, and offenses only can prepare for so much, right?
Yeah, especially in college.
Yes.
You would like this. In Canada, you play some teams. I was at Hamilton. We would play Toronto 3 times.
Whew.
Toronto's got a great coach named Mark Tresham, became the head coach of the Bears, and now he's the quarterback coach out at the Chargers. But so we were lucky enough we won the first 2 games. I said, this coach is so good. We got to play him one more time. So just exactly what you said was, here comes the bear. Now, he's played us twice, has never seen the bear. Well, the third time, we're in the bear, and we're coming after you. And I'll be darned, that's how you beat somebody 3 times. You got to do that, change them. You got to switch things around. And I always ran the bear because if we couldn't stop you with 6, we went to 7. If we can't stop the run with 7, we went to 8. That was our whole deal. And the bear, as you people are listening, we have 8 people on the run and make you throw man. Well, I was a secondary. You're a man, but you got, you got to be able to get it off because we're coming.
And you got to get it off quick, and you got to get it off to the right dude. You don't have time to look, basically.
No.
Especially if you're not.
And if you're looking for your third read, you're looking from the back of your helmet.
You're looking for somebody to pick you up.
Yeah.
Hey, you can't throw touchdown passes laying on your back, right?
No, man. I thought you two would have me a new job by now. I hired Wes 5 years ago to be my agent, and I haven't had a job since.
Oh, boy. Hey, hang on now. You're the defensive coordinator there for the Rangers. So
well, I can't even spell that. They said, "What's your job?" I guess I got to say DC. I'm not real academic. I can't spell coordinator. I don't even know where to start for that.
Was there a particular quarterback or even scheme that was harder to prep for in all your coaching days, Coach?
Well, I love to do this, but when you play somebody running the Army-Navy triple option, whatever you do, it's a great question. I'm going to hire you next week as my offensive coordinator. When you got to go play Army-Navy triple option, whatever you've been doing for 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 3 weeks, doesn't work. You have to change the defense. And that's why you see Army-Navy with good records. And their players, they're beating 7, 8 teams. They don't have as good of players as those other teams do. Yeah. But this is how I coach West for 6 weeks. Now we're playing an Army-Navy offense. Somebody run. We got to say, whatever you've been doing, Wes, is totally different this week. You got to do this.
You got to forget everything. Yeah. This assignment.
I love
it's
to watch
defensive assignment football, right? I mean, 100%.
Assignment. And if you got a guy that's a butterfly and he's just running around chasing, he'll get you beat.
Yes.
Wes,
they're going to find him.
You got the dive.
Right? Yeah.
You got the dive. I got the quarterback. Steve, you got the pitch.
Okay.
Don't come off of those assignments.
All right.
Yeah, you can't. Not
what
only that,
there, Steve, you didn't get the pitch for it.
well, the other thing that happens when they do that is they run out of so many different formations, right? And certain formations you might have the quarterback, and other formations you might they have the inside dive and the outside dive. So if you're defensive end, On the inside dive, you might have the quarterback. On the outside dive, you probably have the dive.
So why don't more people run the triple option?
Well, it's kind of funny, the schools run it and they're real successful with it. They run it in high school.
Yeah.
But you can't run it in college because the alumni who donate the money said, "Where's the passing? There ain't no passing. I'm not coming here and watch all this running. I like passing." Well, remember the wishbone. I never told you guys the story. The wishbone was very similar. And Bear Bryant was at a school in Alabama. I think it was called the University of Alabama. And he was running the wishbone. And I was at Georgia Tech, and we were going to play Duffy Doherty at Michigan State, had the number one offense in the Big Ten, and it was the wishbone. Well, we went up there with our scheme, and we beat them. It was a big shock. We stopped the wishbone. Well, Bear Bryant had signed me for his Alabama high school state clinic to be the main speaker. And he hired me to paid me a lot of money to come speak to every high school coach in Alabama. But the title of my speech was How to Stop the Wishbone, which everybody in Alabama was running because Bear was running. Mm-hmm. So he realized this is probably not a good thing. So now I'm the keynote speaker, and I'm up next, and this room is packed. There are people hanging off the chandeliers. And Coach Brian got up. He says, "Before I introduce our next speaker, if you want, you can go out of these big doors in the back of this room, and downstairs we got free beer and pizza." Well, it was a stampede. I ended up talking to 4 people, and 2 were asleep. You can't tell coaches you got free beer and pizza. That was the most money I made for nobody listening in the history of my career.
So you Alabama played Rutgers, and actually Mal Moore's the one that told me the story. And they had they did a clinic up there the year before they played them. They invited him to a clinic, so he goes up to a clinic up in New York, all paid thing, and gave a speech on how to run the wishbone and what their keys were.
Yeah.
What he didn't know is he was given that there were all the Rutgers coaches that were at the thing, and Rutgers almost beat Alabama that day.
Well,
have you ever heard of that, Coach, before? I mean,
let me tell you, you guys know Hayden Fry?
Yes, sir.
Hayden Fry was coaching at SMU and beating everybody in the Southwest Conference. And Hayden Fry had passing game wide open like nobody in college football. So he's the head speaker for Bear Bryant at Alabama. Well, I'm at Georgia Tech, and nobody knows me from a jar of Vicks. So I go over and I sit in the front row. And Hayden Fry tells everybody, if the backs are high, we're slide protection this way. If the backs are split, we're in a key double read. He's telling them how they block and why they don't get sacked. And here's a young punk kid from Georgia Tech sitting in the front row taking this all in. Well, we open up with him and we shut him right down because guess what my defensive call was, Wes? Blitz the formation. And if it was split, I was coming with a Mickey inside out. If it was I was coming with a double saw. So now the game's over. I'm in the shower, and the guests and the home team coaches. Hayden Fry walks in the shower fully dressed. He goes, "Are you Jerry Glanville?" I said, "Yes, coach." He goes, How did you ever beat us like that? I need to know." I said, "Well, I guess we're lucky." He goes, No. I'm a football coach. Don't tell me you're lucky. How did you win the game?" I said, "I sat in the front row at the Alabama clinic." Hayden Fry looked at me. He said, "I'll never speak at another clinic." Thanks.
And I don't know why people do that. I don't know. Yeah, I've never understood why they sit there and talk at these clinics and give away.
Well, if you're playing if you're playing poker, am I going to let you read my cards?
No, I mean it's the same thing.
No,
I never understood it.
Crazy.
I went to one time, and this guy from Ole Miss, I'm going to say his name, was a defensive coach. He was going over all what he did. He was very successful the year before. But he was giving the playbook away. And guess what? The next year they got slammed every game. I mean, it's like you're giving everybody the keys to how to beat you when you do it. I've never understood it.
Okay, go back. You'll die laughing. Go back to what we call the bunch, the 3 trips all next to each other. Well, one year the Philadelphia Eagles called me and says, "Would you come up and talk to us on defending the bunch?" And I said, "You having trouble with the bunch?" "Yeah, we know you shut it down. Would you come up and teach us?" And I said, "Well, before I come, what are you doing against the bunch?" And I'm not kidding you. He said, "We have 11 calls against the bunch."
Well, there you go.
And I said, "You don't need to bring me up. I'm not that intelligent. I wouldn't have 11 calls against everything." But I said, "I'll watch where you are next year because you're all getting fired." And they did.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
11 calls. I got 1 call. I play boxing. You can't beat us.
So when they put 3 out there, you put 4, Coach.
Here's what I do. I got a guy on the point, the guy inside. And we're going to jam him and hit him hard. And I got the flat. Which guy you got in the flat? I don't have any guy in the flat. I got whoever shows up. And everybody else is man on 1, combo on 2. Dang Alabama invented something, top hat. I'll take the back guy. You take the. I sit around and I laugh. And they're running all this stuff. I said, what if I just say I got who comes to my zone? And the backer goes to curl. Which guy does every curl? He doesn't have a guy. Whoever shows up, that's how you beat the bunch. I just did what Hayden Fry did.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Sitting in the front row at this conference. But
yeah. Nobody at radio does what you 2 guys do. That's why this is probably your last show.
Well, it's as for the college game itself, the ratings were down overall. What do you think of the game of college football right now, Coach?
I think the NIL. It was kind of funny. People say, "Man, what do you think of the Big Ten taking these championships away from the SEC?" And I said, "What are you talking about? Ohio State had more Alabama players than Alabama did. They're still the SEC's in there." The NIL proves what DeBartolo did at the 49ers.
Yeah.
Before they had to change it, you can buy a championship.
Yeah.
And the NIL. And people say, "How can you fix it?" I don't know how you put the toothpaste back in the tube. I don't know how you do that. But the toothpaste is out. And the portal, they had a quarterback on the national championship team that played at Alabama, a little high school in Alabama, had 1 scholarship to Duke, so he went to Duke. And this year, he got enough money to buy everybody a car in Alabama. And he went to Notre Dame, and he's in the national championship. What about the other cat? He plays at Kansas State. Who the hell knows anybody at Kansas State? Well, then he gets the deal to go to Ohio State. So both quarterbacks have been at this championship school for 5 months. That's how long they've been there. That's not what college football used to be, but that's what it is. And you either go along with it or get out.
Yeah, I think there are going to be some changes, Coach. I'd like to see. My suggestions would be that you pay them the same except for true NIL, which is if they get the commercials or do what NIL is supposed to be, name, image, and likeness. Then and you take the portal where it's one time a year, and it's in the summer when school's out. I mean, school's supposed to be, I mean, these guys, as you know, even the guys that play in the NFL, what percent of those end up broke? How are you going to make all that money you're supposed to make and the little bit of money they really are after taxes making for 4 years and end up with not a chance to graduate from college because they've been to three different schools? It's and which one's going to pay for you to graduate now? You going to go back to the first one and try to graduate? And you think they're going to pay for it? Which in the past they have, right? Joe Namath just graduated, 10 years ago from Alabama.
Yeah. In that sense, well, I tell everybody when I'm recruiting them, your freshman year is your toughest. And they say, how do you know that? I goes, because for me, it lasted 3 years. They wanted me to pass English. I said, I don't even speak English. I got write about it.
Yeah.
What was your major, Coach?
Well, the coach always said one thing Glanville took up. And I said, what was that? He said, you took up space.
You Coach, the greatest thing that I've ever heard you tell, really, is the fact that
that's a long list.
And it's a long list. But no, I mean, the fact that you said you got your first coaching job because you could teach driver's ed.
I had a driver ed certificate. I asked the principal, why'd you hire me? He says, you're the only coach that applied that could teach driver ed. So my whole career started off with me with a brake on my side without a steering wheel, screaming louder than the radio.
So then the fact that 10 years later you're a coach in NFL, and how many years later you were the head coach, but the fact that you became a race car driver makes it that much special to me anyway.
And you know what was great? I was racing in Michigan. I can't think of the track up there in Michigan. In the NASCAR, I was running NASCAR in Michigan, and my whole driver ed class came to the race. And they came down. I came in third, and the whole student says, boy, you didn't teach us to drive like that.
So did y'all ever wreck while you were in driver's ed?
Hell, not in driver ed, but when I got in NASCAR, I had a wreck. Yeah. I had 3 bad wrecks a year, and that's what everybody did then. It wasn't the safest it is now. But I never had a wreck in driver ed. But my brake, we were in a Dodge, and I had a brake on my side. And that brake could override anybody flooring it or driving it. And I used it a bunch. But I didn't have a steering wheel. And I was kind of always hoping I had a steering wheel, too. And that was, but people say to me, how'd you take the pressure of coaching for 60 years? How'd you take all that pressure? I goes, hell, that ain't pressure. Pressure's teaching driver ed. That's pressure.
Oh, man.
Oh, goodness gracious. So how you going to, are you heading back to Northwestern Oklahoma State? But
well, I'm waiting for Wes. I think Wes is going to get me the defensive coordinator job at the Jets or at Detroit. So I'm waiting for Wes to make a move.
Did they keep our guy at the Jets?
Pardon?
Aaron Glenn just got hired as the head coach of the Jets. Who are you talking about? Are you talking about? Oh gosh, I know who you're talking about. I'm doing the same thing that you're doing because I'm
the guy that used to be Phil Savage.
Phil Savage
is at the Jets, I believe.
Yeah, I think he's still there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll put in a good word for you.
Toss that job for me. I think the kids today that I coach are not in the NIL money, and they don't make that kind of money, and it's sort of like coaching college football 10 years ago at Alabama. It's different. But it's the problem now. You can't quit recruiting that kid that's there because he's going to leave if you stop. So to me, it's a 365 recruiting every year on the same kid that's there.
That has got to be exhausting. Yeah, exactly. That has got to be exhausting. It's you going to be watching the AFC and NFC championship games? Any interest in watching that this weekend?
Well, I really wanted to see the Wyoming quarterback at Buffalo going against the quarterback at the Ravens. And lo and behold, I said, these two cats are different. I rated this won't shock you, Steve. This is going to shock Wes. I rated Josh Allen, the quarterback at Buffalo. Are you ready, Steve? The 9th best rushing back in the NFL.
Wow.
Huh.
And people say, well, he don't play quarterback. I'm just rating the best runners.
Yeah.
And he's the 9th best. And then of all things, I heard you talking about the end for the Ravens that dropped the pass.
Yeah.
And let me tell you about that guy. He's a heck of a football player.
He really is, yes.
And there was a tight end just like that for the Dallas Cowboys back before you people watched drop the championship catch for the Cowboys tight end the same way.
Yep.
And so just about the time he said, man, I never saw that. Well, I have. I've been around so damn long. I saw everything twice.
So you remember the catch for the Cowboys where the guy caught the ball but never he did a circle? It's a famous catch, and he kind of caught it and flipped, and then he dropped it and they called it a touchdown. They play it back all the time. I got to figure out who that was because
what era are we talking about?
It was old Cowboys.
Old?
Yeah, Tom Landry was the coach on that catch in the Super Bowl. But I don't think that would be a catch today. Is the whole point. I saw it this week.
Let me tell you about Tom Landry. He was very, very smart football-wise. He coached a defense with the Giants. And who was the offensive coordinator when he was the defensive coordinator? Guy named Vince Lombardi.
Yeah.
And they're on the staff together. And look what those two did for football.
Unreal.
Isn't that awesome?
It is awesome.
Was that Frank Gifford on that team? Was that the Frank Gifford Giants?
Yes. And Vince, of course, got a job somewhere up north with some team that the community owned. And how about this? Landry got a job as the head coach on a team that never had a team, and they had to start. And I was in his first training camp, and his first training camp was in Marquette, Michigan, and they had an old quarterback. Eddie LeBaron was the starter, and I was there. The backup was a guy named Don Meredith.
Wow.
So I've been around too long. In fact, you can get on the internet and vote. I ask you all to help me.
Yeah.
Whether I'm alive or dead, I check it every day to see if I'm still alive. But you can vote either way on there.
Come on,
Wes wants to vote I'm dead because he's going to make all the money.
I'm going to score like a bandit on that day.
And as soon as you mention Tom Landry, I think about what Jerry Jones did right out of the gate. And I don't know if that was because he had to or because Tex Schramm did not want to fire Tom Landry.
Yeah, that was something. And I got to coach against him. I got to, and we'd go to league meetings. He said, Bill Walsh says I should eat dinner with you, Jerry. I said, Bill Walsh? He goes, could we eat dinner with our wives tonight? This is Tom Landry, the Jerry Glenn. And I said, well, what did Bill tell you? And he said, Bill Walsh said, you are at the zenith of all of football. And I said, I don't know where you two guys went to school, but zenith for me was a 12-inch TV screen. I don't know what zenith means. And they said I was at the zenith. I had to go home and look it up. I didn't know if it was a compliment or something they shouldn't have been saying.
That's a high compliment, Coach.
Well, those two guys were cerebral. And all through college and high school, nobody ever got me confused with somebody that was cerebral.
So did you go to dinner with Tom Landry and his wife?
Went to dinner with Tom Landry, and he was a gentleman of all gentlemen. And he said, Jerry, I know, he would say, I know we play each other. I know it's a big deal, but I just wanted to get to know you. And he goes, and Bill Walsh said that I should eat with you and talk about football the way you are. How about that?
Man,
that is cool.
That's pretty awesome.
Here I was, and let me tell you, not many people knew anything about me. I was just the guy that just showed up for, and there I was, and a lot of people didn't know anything about me. Then after they found out about me, they wish they didn't find out about me.
Coach, I feel like you and Bob Uecker could have gotten along really well. Did you know Uecker at all, Coach?
No, but the only movie I ever cry, I always break down. I go OW. OW for Jerry is open weeping when I see Major League Baseball with Wild Thing coming off the mountain. Bob Uecker did that movie. Y'all remember Wild?
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah.
Well, that's the only film. Everybody says, what's the most heart-tugging film you ever saw in your life? I said, it ain't even close. It's Major League with Bob Uecker.
Just a bit outside.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
How about when he hit a guy on the on-deck circle?
Yeah,
and Uecker says, a little bit outside.
Oh, Coach, you're the best. We always appreciate the time you give us. And see, I promised Wes would be here. He got a little bit angry at me last time when you weren't here, Wes. But
I'm mad, Wes, because you weren't there. And then the guy that replaced you was so much better, I didn't care.
He probably knew what he was saying.
You're the best, Coach.
Well, you two are. If the show doesn't get canceled, we'll do it again next year.
Oh, yeah. They got a little Fall Guy action for you as well. We know you liked it last time. So,
oh, yeah.
You're the best, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Adios.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Orthopedics. You're thinking bones, muscles, and joints, right? Well, what else comes to mind? Maybe your spine, therapy, or an arm cast? What about sports medicine? What do you think about when you hear that? Are you thinking about the largest orthopedic group in the state, caring for the most student athletes in North Alabama? Or about the fact that they are teamed up with the state's largest hospital-based sports medicine program to provide care to more schools in North Alabama than any other group? If you are, you have TOC Sports and Huntsville Hospital Sports Center on the brain. If you're not, you should, because Huntsville Hospital Sports Center and TOC Sports have partnered for more than 2 decades to establish a state-of-the-art team of certified athletic trainers and orthopedic specialists who successfully continue to meet and exceed the sports medicine needs of schools, athletes, coaches, and parents in our community. Committing to kids, committing to community, committing to care. That's Huntsville Hospital Sports Center and TOC Sports.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer again. Baumhauer's Victory Grill is extremely proud to have recently received numerous awards, including being voted best wings in the state of Alabama. Other awards received include Best All-Around Restaurant, Best American Restaurant, #1 Sports Bar, Best Chef, Best Wings, and Best Dining Experience. Thank you for 43 legendary years, and we look forward to providing you an award-winning dining experience at every visit. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable, professional in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
Attention, may I have the camp's attention?
Your home of the college football playoffs.
Playoffs?
Is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Playoffs?
Back here on the drive, I know we've been kind of guest heavy. Hope you've enjoyed our look around the National Football League with John McClain and Jerry Glanville. And lo and behold, we're sneaking up on a break. As one story that did break here this afternoon, a good friend of the program, Jose Canseco, is coming back. Old Parkway Jose coming back for a Stars Pandas reunion, but shouldn't it be at Joe Davis?
It should. I mean,
and not at
Jose 565 doesn't have the same ring.
It really doesn't.
Jose 565.
But although Jose Canseco, maybe he
so
is the one that needs to go to Toyota Field.
I believe that got
and
up.
Jose Canseco needs to go to.
Yeah.
You think what? I didn't mean to step on you.
Trash Pandas also announced they have
I'm-
single game tickets on sale now, so
That you
those are
can-
going quickly.
And
yeah.
you can hear all the games
on Talk Radio WZZN. We are your home for the Trash Pandas.
There you go. Josh Carey with every single play-by-play call, and we'll see whether or not we'll get a Jose Canseco reference during his broadcast as well.
That pretty much cost somebody their job that day. Yes.
Him and Gordie Howe. Can we get Gordie Howe back? Can we get Gordie Howe back too? No.
Chai Rodriguez.
Chai Rodriguez. That's a good pull right there. Anyway, still can't remember what she called Wayne Gretzky, but it wasn't Wayne Gretzky. Anyway, very memorable. Very, very, very memorable. But it'll be good to have Parkway Jose back here again. That's on August the 28th, if you're planning ahead. And wasn't Ozzy I'm saying Canseco now and not even meaning to. Wasn't Ozzy a star as well? That's the younger brother of Jose. I believe he was.
I think so.
A Huntsville Star.
It was Steinbeck. Was it Steinbeck?
Oh, yeah. Terry Steinbeck. Yeah.
And Jose and Mark McGuire.
Mark McGuire. Yeah.
Yep.
That was a great time to be a Stars fan.
Yes.
I can't imagine. Honestly, I really can't imagine back in the mid-'80s when they launched and how electric that was, at least what I was told, what that was like around here with the Stars. And they won right out of the gate, did they not?
Yeah, pretty on. And we spent a lot of time in the 80s and early 90s just on the Businessman special.
Yeah.
We'd leave out of work from the morning show over at 48, and we go land by like the end of the second inning and hang out in the cheap seats and have refreshments and eat hot dogs and watch ball games.
All right, I'm being told that we probably need to take our last break before I get sued if I say Jose Canseco one more time. So let's go ahead and do that.
Thanks for listening.
We'll be back and wrap things up.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
It's laundry season at Owen Home Appliance Center. Tired of that washer walking out the door and having to dry a load 2 or 3 times? It's time for a new washer and dryer. Pick from brands like Maytag, GE, Whirlpool, Electrolux, and of course, Speed Queen. Try the new 2-in-1 GE Profile that washes and dries a load all in one machine. Visit the interactive location in Lacey Springs where you can try the washers and dryers before you buy them. Owen Home Appliance Center. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service. It's in the name, Owen Home Appliance Center.
Flying nonstop from Huntsville is a breeze on Breeze Airways. They're nice people flying nice people to nice places on really nice planes. Let's be direct. Nonstop from Huntsville to the places you want to go. Las Vegas, Orlando, or Tampa starting at $49. It's time for a weekend getaway or a long overdue week away. Time to check in using the convenient Breeze app and check out. What are you waiting for? Book today at flybreeze.com. That's flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways. Seriously nice.
This is Steve Moulton from 97.7 ESPN The Zone with my friend Brandon Pilcher from Pilcher's Appraisals. Brandon, what exactly do you do?
Steve, I'm an appraiser. I can value a property for you if you're potentially going to sell, and that valuation could also be used to help you with your property taxes.
Thanks, Brandon. Brandon is licensed in Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia. You can contact him at 706-936-3766. Call or text.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Another cold night across the Tennessee Valley, but we're not going to be as cold tonight as we have been over the last several nights. Temperatures drop into the mid-20s. A partly sunny sky Friday afternoon. Temperatures climb into the upper 30s and lower 40s. We drop into the mid-20s once again as we head into the early hours of Saturday morning. Mostly to partly sunny sky Saturday afternoon. It's actually going to be quite nice across the Tennessee Valley. We climb into the mid and upper 40s. I do think a couple of folks could actually see the lower 50s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We cover all the SEC schools, including Western Union and Venmo.
I want that money!
You know, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Phil Savage just got back to me and said, give me Glanville's number. All right.
That's awesome.
Movers and shakers right here on the program.
Yes.
So there you go, Phil Savage. Head over to our website, 977ESPN.com. Click on the Big Zone deals. Sea Salt, Lawler's Barbecue, Carrabba's Italian Grill, Bubby's Diner, Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, Corlejos Mexican Grill, Full Moon Barbecue, Bigfoot Little Donuts, Apple Lane Farms, the Decatur location only, and Good Company. Good Company just launched. That's all. Get 50 for 25. Just head over to our website. Yeah, if you want some golf, there's also Gunter's Landing Golf Course, as well as Cherokee Ridge.
Go ahead and get ready. The weather's fixing to turn. It's going to be good golfing weather.
It's supposed to be like mid-50s on Monday.
Walk 18 and not break a sweat.
Yeah.
Man, it was just went outside. It was 36, and it felt like
it felt
awesome.
Great. Yeah, I know. I don't feel like we're in India anymore. And on the subject of the National Football League, and something that John McClain alluded to earlier in the program, is the cheating aspect. Well, Travis Kelce laughed off Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne accused the Kansas City Chiefs of cheating. Travis Kelce had this to say to Lil Wayne.
The whole world was talking about something else during the game, and I'm sure you saw some of this, but they were complaining about the refs again, Trav. Even Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne, I hate the cheating Chiefs. So with two Z's.
Shout out to Toonsy, man.
Not a whole lot of insight in that little sound clip other than Lil Wayne accusing the Kansas City Chiefs of cheating.
Well, what I don't understand is, so there's just showing a highlight here.
Mm-hmm.
He just runs a little circle route. How's that? I mean, and they don't cover him. But why don't you? I mean, if he's running a circle route, I mean, if he's coming off the line of scrimmage on a pass play, you better be covering him. It doesn't make sense to me. Even when it's zone, you should have him man. It's kind of like a boxing one because he'll beat you.
Yep.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I just watching him play the Steelers then. He just comes off the ball, does a little circle, 10 yards. I mean, that's easy.
We have not seen a three-peat at all in the National Football League. It does feel like this is the best opportunity. The Steelers of the 70s, the Niners of the 80s, the Cowboys of the 90s. Well, I really wish Jimmy would have stuck around for one more year because that was back-to-back as soon as that separation happened. And I realized they won one more Super Bowl with Barry Switzer, but that could have been – and, of course, the Patriots of the 2000s. And I guess the Chiefs now are the teams of the 20s. And because of the amount of dominance this has been for the Kansas City Chiefs. We have heard plenty about Bama fatigue. I'm hearing now about Chiefs fatigue, that they're just making it look too easy. But
there's no question that their quarterback is special. Yeah. He's the best 2-minute quarterback I've ever seen in my life. The plays he makes and how he makes them. Now, he's got a thing. He's getting a reputation of taking advantage of the officials, like he did.
Handing out Christmas presents.
Well, it's not that though. I know.
Getting
hit. He stops like when he's about to go out of bounds and then acts like he gets killed.
Yeah,
I mean stuff like that.
Yeah,
and that'll end up hurting your reputation. Because if you start gaming NFL refs, all of a sudden you won't get those calls.
Yeah,
but right now it's affecting the game though. I mean, them trying to protect the quarterbacks in the playoffs to me is ridiculous. I mean, unless you it's blatant and egregious, should they call anything.
Coming up on the program tomorrow, we'll dive into a little bit more of some college basketball. A big one down on the plains between the Auburn Tigers and the Tennessee Vols. That ought to be fun this weekend down on the plains, but there is some other basketball going on as well, and we'll dive into a little bit of that here on the program. If you're just tuning in now, head over to our website, 977ESPN.com, click on the shows, and you can listen to all of our shows. We've got a lot of local programming for you right here on Talk Radio WZZM, that's our HD.2 channel, as well as right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.